Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. Also welcome to my June and July reading wrap up. I read 16 books over the past couple of months and I'll be taking you through all of them in today's video. I read 7 books in June and 9 books in July and found a couple of favorites, and some of these you've seen in my mid-year book freakout tag video. If you'd like to go watch that video too, I'll leave the link here as well as in the description box below. So without any further ado, let's dive right into my June and July 2025 reading wrap up, and let me share with you all the 16 books that I read in the past couple of months. First, my June reads. The first book that I finished in June was Kinda Korean by Joan Sung. The author is a second generation Korean American and she talks about growing up in America with Korean parents, her lifestyle, the expectations that her parents had from her, the expectations that society had from her, how she grew up through all this and how it affected her psyche and how it affected her mental health. All of this is what Joan Sung is talking about in Kinda Korean. The author does a great job at elaborating on her thoughts about the political and the communal aspects of the years that she has lived through, including COVID, the anti-Asian hate that came with it, and bullying. But the problem for me with this book was that it kind of gets a little repetitive, and it's like the author, she starts off on an anecdote and then swirls off into something else. She goes off on tangents after tangents and she says things that she has already said before, but she says it like she's saying it for the first time, and that kind of got on my nerves for a bit. I mean, she does have a few great points on how to deal with racist people, but the problems that I have with this book are with the writing style and not what the author is talking about. So if you're looking for a memoir, I would definitely recommend this book. Next was a book that I read as part of the Bookstagram book club by HarperCollins Australia, and that was Lonely Mouths by Jacqueline Maley. And this, first of all, this one has one of the most simplistically beautiful covers I've seen in a while. Second was that this is a book that will be like a punch to your gut. This is about Matilda and Lara, who are half sisters, but it focuses mainly on Matilda. Their mother abandoned them a few years ago, which sent them into foster care. Now they are older, they are adults. Matilda is working in a Sydney restaurant, and now Lara's father has returned and he is on this whole journey of trying to make amends for his past misdeeds or something, and this sends Matilda's life into a tizzy. She has compartmentalized everything, her feelings, her food, her work, her home, and she has it right down to the wire. But this one person from her past is ready to upset everything. How it all comes together and how Matilda will be able to handle all of this is what this book is about. Before I share my review of this book, trigger warnings for this book are eating disorders, parental abandonment, child sexual abuse, emotional abuse, and extramarital affairs. So please be careful if you plan to pick this book up. As to the review, this is a fabulous book. I would definitely recommend you read it while keeping those trigger warnings in mind. This is a book that is so paradoxical because it is restrained but chaotic. It is detached but emotional. It is so removed from our lives, but it's also so relatable. And there is so much in this book that will make you angry. It will make you defensive for Matilda. You want to protect her. You get angry on her behalf. And it will send you into a frenzy that will keep you reading because you want to know what happens. The ending felt a little flimsy to me, but overall the book is a huge plus. It's a huge win. Next was Make Room for Love by Darcy Liao, and this is the story of Mira and Isabel, who meet when Mira is accosted by her ex-boyfriend outside a club, and Isabel comes up and saves her. Mira doesn't have a place to live because she's been crashing on her friend's couch after she split up with that said boyfriend. But Isabel, in a fit of impulsiveness, offers her a place because she's also looking for a roommate, and Mira moves in. But as time goes by, both of them can hardly control their attraction for each other, but both of them do have issues, and how they work through them and what exactly happens is what this whole book is about. And this is a slow burn romance, and when I mean slow burn romance, I mean that until about 50% of the book everything is going okay. Like, they are tiptoeing around each other, they are controlling their feelings, they don't know what to do with themselves, they don't know what to do with their feelings. But once that particular point is crossed, oh boy. But in addition to the physical intimacy, there's also an emotional intimacy that Darcy Liao infuses into the story, in addition to the love, identity, understanding, past demons, battling them, and all of it. It does get a little repetitive at times. They are rehashing the same issues over and over and over again. But other than that, this is a great romance book because those issues don't take away from the overall impact of the story. Next was one of my favorite books of 2025, and that is Tea You at the Altar by Rebecca Thorne. This is the third in the Tomes and Tea series, and I love this book so much I can't even explain. Although that's the whole point of this, that I have to explain to you why I love this book so much. But this follows Kianth and Reina, and they are about to get married. But things are not that simple, right? Despite everything, in the little town of Tawny, they have built a community now. They have made pirate friends. All of them are descending on the town for the wedding, and everything is going on. New Leaf is sort of bustling and all of that. But there's also the small issue of Queen Telaine and the fact that they are now thinking of overthrowing her. So how will wedding plans and the plans for this coup come together is what this book is all about. And it is one of the most entertaining, lovely, cozy fantasies that I've read. So if you ask me for cozy fantasies, this will be among the top 5. Definitely, without a doubt. This series has my whole heart. It started off slow, the love for it, but now it has built up to a point where I'm ready to scream and squeal. It is that good. As much as I loved that last book, this next book pissed me the hell off. Ever since I read this, I've been wondering why I bought this. But you know, there's a reason for everything and all, although I don't know what the reason is right now. And that book is Snow Country by Yasunari Kawabata and translated from Japanese into English by Edward G. Seidensticker. And see, let me read the blurb for you because Shimamura is tired of the bustling city. He takes the train through the snow to the mountains of the west coast of Japan to meet with a geisha he believes he loves. Beautiful and innocent, Komako is tightly bound by the rules of a rural geisha and lives a life of servitude and seclusion that is alien to Shimamura. Their love offers no freedom to either of them. It sounds so good, no? But no! This is one of the most frustrating, most irritating books I have ever read, and I regret suggesting this for our book club. This is not it. See, this feels pointless, although there must be a point in there somewhere that I don't know, but it is repetitive. It keeps going on the same thing. The lady in this is sort of keeps repeating the same thing. She is a depiction of what the author thinks women are like. He has depicted her as a fickle woman who keeps throwing herself onto the floor. She keeps, I don't even know at this point. I see red every time I think of this book. This is supposed to be a Japanese classic, but I don't know if it's the translation that has done this, because this translation is not it. But if you are planning to read this book, do yourself a favor, don't. If your tastes and my tastes are similar in any way, then I would recommend do not read this book. You'll rip your hair out. Next was Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, and this is not Abby Jimenez's best work to date. I do have issues with it. My biggest being that she keeps referring to the main character as Rysand from a Sarah J. Maas book, and that pisses me off because first of all, you cannot compare one fictional character to another fictional character. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Second, you're referencing a Zionist author. An author who is so racist, I'll stop it at that. But this is about two people who meet the night before the woman is moving away, and they are so attracted to each other they can't stop. They can't stop from falling for each other, and how they handle this long distance is what this book is about. It's okay. It's fast-paced, it's interesting. It's interesting to see how these two handle this long distance, especially when there's dementia in the equation. Not the main characters, but the woman's mother. I think it's dementia or Alzheimer's. I can't remember. It's not something to joke about. I'm sorry. But if you ask me, would I recommend this book? I would say if you have a lot of time on your hand, sure, go for it. But if you're like looking for something specific, this is not the book that you want. My last read of June was another amazing book, and this time it's a horror book, and that is The Staircase in the Woods by Chuck Wendig. This is the story of 5 friends who, as teenagers, they went into the woods, they saw a staircase, and one of them disappeared. Now years later, they've all come together again because they are now going into the woods again. There's another staircase, and now they're about to start looking for that long lost friend. How they are going to do this and what are they going to find on the way is something that is so chilling and eerie, and you think of it and you think that it is possible. That is what makes it even more creepy. It makes it even more realistic. The fact that something like this could happen, you know that it won't happen, but it feels realistic. So when you bring both of these together, it feels like a living, breathing thing that is about to overtake you, and it sort of pulls you down, and you sort of empathize with the characters because they are going through all of this. They are going through that house, they're going from one room to another, trying to find their friend and not able to find him, and now they are trapped over there. And that claustrophobia starts setting into you as well, and that is what makes this such an impactful book. I'm usually not a fan of horror, but this type of horror, this type of thoughtful horror, I can get behind. There is a lot of gore in this book, so do be careful before picking this book up. But if you are someone who loves horror and you love this kind of thing, then I think that this will be the perfect read for you. Now moving on to my July reads, I read 9 books in July, the first of which was Vanishing World by Sayaka Murata, and this is a speculative dystopian fiction set in a futuristic Japan. In this society, what is widely accepted is that babies conceived via artificial insemination are the norm, but the main character was conceived the natural way, and that makes her an outlier. But going by what society accepts and what she is surrounded by, she is disgusted that her parents had her like that. She wants to distance herself from that, and when she gets married, the acceptable thing is that you don't have physical relationships with your spouse. So you have lovers outside of the marriage, and since that is the norm in that point in time, that's what's going on here. But at some point, these two main characters want a child of their own that is to be had via artificial insemination, and they move to Experiment City, where the children are brought up as a community. This book is a commentary on what society is, and it will rip apart your ideas of what is normal, what is acceptable, and what is not, because society as a whole deems what is normal, what is acceptable, and that's not always the right thing. Murata is a genius at social commentaries, and she did not hold back on this one at all. But my thing is that it does get a little repetitive. It keeps going over the same things over and over again, although it might have been for impact, but it comes across as jarring. But the most jarring part came towards the end. The way the book ended, it sort of creeped me out. It irritated me, it annoyed me, it angered me, it stayed with me, and every time I think of the ending of this book, it sort of makes me so... I don't even have words to explain it. I'm shaken, I'm yucked out, I'm irritated, I'm just disgusted. But she was trying to make a point, but also does that have to be the way that she was trying to make that point? What the hell was that? Why the hell was that? Like, it keeps you, it stays here, and it will haunt you for the rest of your life. Okay, maybe not for the rest of your life, but for a long time to come. You see how I'm reacting to it? Next was Rise and Shine by Kimberly Allsop. This was the June Bookstagram Book Club pick for HarperCollins Australia, and this was a great read. I really enjoyed reading this. This is about August and Noah, that they've sort of drifted apart in their marriage and they don't know what to do. But at one point things come to a head, and August is like, no, I need distance, I need to move away. It's breaking their hearts, but they need to move away. How they deal with it and how will they be able to find each other again is what this book is about. But that is also putting it very simply. This is about two people who have lost themselves and as a result lost each other in that marriage, and sometimes when this happens you need distance from each other. But it shows you the things that August and Noah are going through, the love that they feel for each other. Sure, Noah can be a bit of an oblivious brat. He can be inside his own head so much that you just want to reach inside the pages and smack him on the head. What August and Noah have is such a beautiful thing, and to read this book and to read their feelings, to read all of this together was lovely. I do love the way unrequited love and friendships are treated in this book. It's one for the ages. It's brilliantly done. Next was The Second Chance Convenience Store by Kim Ho-yoon and translated from the Korean into English by Janet Hong. Mrs. Yeom is a retired teacher turned convenience store owner, and she is on the train when she realizes that she has lost her purse. Now she gets a call saying that I have your purse, I'll hold it for you until you can come back and take it. So she gets down at the next station, takes the next train to Seoul Station, and when she gets there she realizes that a homeless man called Doggo has found her purse. He has held on to it, and seeing this little act of kindness, she offers him a job at her convenience store. Now how this man forms a place for himself in that neighborhood, how he changes the lives of everyone he meets is what this whole book is about. This is a sweet book. It is a lovely story of a man who in the process of finding himself helps others find themselves and find value in their lives no matter how hard it gets. It is very well written and the translation is top notch. It is warm, it will make you smile, it will make you cry, it will make you empathize, it will make your heart ache, it will help you understand others and the tumultuous nature of life. This is wonderful. I do think that at times it can get a little but overall it's a fantastic book, a fantastically translated book as well. And so if you're looking for a sort of healing fiction, healing Korean fiction this time, then this is one that you should definitely check out. Next was Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. This is her new release, and in this book the main character is trying to solve her own murder. So Jet has just moved in with her family in Woodstock, and it's the night of Halloween. So she has just returned from the Halloween fair and she is violently attacked by an intruder. She takes hits to the head and she ends up in the hospital where the doctor tells her that she just has 7 more days to live. So Jet, at this point, she's like, enough is enough. I just have 7 more days. I will do this. If nothing, I will do this one last thing and I will find out who killed me. The police say they're investigating, but Jet knows that the only person she can depend on at the moment is Billy, her childhood friend. So how will she find out who actually did all of this and what truths are going to come forward is what this book is about. This one is much better than a previous book, The Reappearance of Rachel Price. I did a review for that book. If you'd like to go check it out, link will be here as well as in the description box below. But that one was kind of but this one was very good. I listened to this on Libro FM and the narrator Alex McKenna did a great job of bringing forward the characters' traits as well, be it Jet, be it Jet's mom, who can be quite irritating, then her ex-best friend who is now married to her brother, and everyone. It sort of was a great atmospheric read. Even though it was not an all-cast production, it was a great atmospheric read and it kept you hooked. My only concern is that it was way too long. It did get repetitive, it did get fluffy at times. Fluffy as in there was a lot of fluff that didn't need to be there. It could have been way shorter than it actually is. But I do think that it is a well written, well plotted out book that will keep you on the edge of your seat, be it the humor, be it the quips, be it the revelations, all of it. Towards the end, I did think that it got a little too abrupt and it got a little convenient, but in the whole grand scheme of things, I do think that it was a good one. Next was Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, and this one was a strange read, if you could call it. This is about Rue and Eli. Is that how the name is pronounced? But these two people are so different from each other. Rue is straightforward, she has few friends, she knows what she wants, and she is very clear on where she stands on things. She is successful as a biotech engineer at a place called Klein, and now there's a hostile takeover going on, and the guy who is at the front of this is Eli. These two have already met, although they didn't know that these two were these two people, and when they realize that they need to stay away from each other, things keep building up. They cannot control their attraction, but they also know that they need to stay away. They don't know what to do because everything is coming to a head. But how is Rue going to take this? Because she is loyal to Klein. Florence Klein is one of her best friends in the whole world, but she is also attracted to Eli. How is this whole thing going to work out? I do think that this is an okay read. It's a good romance. I like the conflict between Harkness, which is Eli's firm, and Klein. I do like this whole business side of things, but I also do agree with someone in a review said that Rue has the personality of a wet cardboard, and I can't look away from that. Although there's nothing wrong with her, but the writing makes her feel a certain type of way. Plus the chemistry between Rue and Eli felt so forced to me that I just like... And some of the scenes were so forced and so repetitive as well. You're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Okay, I don't have an issue with it, but you're not doing anything for the storyline. In the end, I was like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. Next was a book that I've been reading since March, and that is Molly by Rosalie Ham. And this is a historical fiction starting in 1917. This is a prequel to a book called The Dressmaker, which was also made into a movie. This is about Molly Dunnage, the mother from that book. We follow Molly, her aunt, her father. She works for the Pocknells and her corsetry business is beginning to take off. She is getting orders from Alethea Pocknell, the daughter of the owner of that company, and then there's a dame who's an opera singer as well. She's just starting to take off, and she's also marching alongside the suffragists, but there is something skulking in the background. It's something that's about to upset her whole life, something that's about to change it for the worse. What Molly Dunnage does and how she handles all of this is what this book is about, and this was okay. Like, it was not bad, it was nothing out of this world either. It was okay. It is interesting how the author decided to write these characters, because throughout there's this sort of positive optimism that's running through the entire book. But even when things that happen that are bad for Molly, that are bad for the people concerned, it sort of doesn't feel like it. So it doesn't give you that feeling that, oh my god, something bad's happened. Because that sheen of optimism is there, that sheen of positivity is there, it sort of clouds that judgment. And by doing that, the author kind of downplayed the intensity of the events and the emotions in this book. And I feel like that was a downfall of it. Unfortunately, it's not a bad book, but I feel like it could have been so much better than how it turned out to be. Next was a manga called Naruto by Masashi Kishimoto, and this is the first 3 volumes. This is an omnibus, and I started out feeling like this is a meh read, but then as the pages go by, I started to really like it. I want to finish this manga this year. Last year it was Full Metal Alchemist, and this year it's Naruto for me. Naruto is about this kid, this teenager who is actually... the nine-tailed fox has been locked inside of him after a fierce battle. So now this guy is like supremely optimistic. He wants everyone to notice him, that kind of thing. Those are issues, by the way. But he wants to become the Hokage. Like, he wants to be the leader of the village that he comes from. How he, along with his friends, his crush and his sort of rival, go through ninja training, and what happens during this, what rivals he faces, what tests he faces, how he comes through this is what this is about. It's fantastic so far. It starts out slow and it starts out like very muddled action scenes and all, for me personally, because Full Metal Alchemist had really clear cut scenes of actions and battles, but this one was a little, but right now I'm really loving it. Volume 1 was but by volume 3 I'm like, give me more. I have the next omnibus, volumes 4, 5 and 6 ready, and I'll be reading that in August. Next was Shatru Chronicles Book 1 by Vadhan. This is a prequel to the Song of the Trinity series. I've done vlogs and reviews for that. I'll leave one of those here as well as the others in the description box below. Please go check those out. Those are amazing mythological science fiction fantasy books that you definitely must pick up if you are interested in those genres. This is about Shatru, a character from the Song of the Trinity series, and it follows his journey as a hunter. He is now assigned an apprentice by the Guardians of Balance called Chris. A high-ranking woman in a corporation that is important to this whole plot has been murdered, and Shatru has been called in to find out what exactly is going on. But as these threads unravel, there are things that come forward, there are things that he realizes, that he discovers, that is about to upset a whole lot more than just this. So I really enjoyed this book. This is another example of Vadhan's exceptional writing skills. I do love Song of the Trinity better than this book, but this was still fun and intense, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's love, there's mythology, there's action, there's intrigue, and add to all of that, there is novelty to the story, despite most of the characters in it being familiar to those who know Hindu mythology. Plus that ending, that connection at the end of the book to the first in the Song of the Trinity series was truly chef's kiss. Brilliant writing, really enjoyable, and this is one that I will also definitely recommend. Do read it. And last but not the least, The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell, and this is such a fabulous book. I've spoken more about this in my Reading Booktuber Favorites episode 3 vlog that went up last Saturday. If you'd like to go check that out, link will be here as well as in the description box below. But this is historical fiction dealing with actual historical figures, and this revolves around Lucrezia de Medici, who was the Duchess of Ferrara in the mid-1500s. So this is an imagining of her life through the facts that we know about her. This is such a beautifully, gorgeously written book. I've gushed enough about it in that vlog, but you should definitely go check that out. I've spoken about it in more detail. But this is slow, it's languid, it is detailed, it is atmospheric, and it will transport you back to Renaissance Italy, and that is saying something because that isn't something that many books know how to do, and this book does it so easily. And we know that if it does something easily, that there's so much effort that goes inside it, and I respect Maggie O'Farrell so much for that, because she is a master of her craft, and that craft comes to life in here. If you haven't read this book, pick it up. If you want to read historical fiction that will pull you in and keep you there, pick this up. If you want to see historical figures, how men and women were treated separately, differently, pick this up. If you want an ending that will surprise you, that will stay with you for the rest of time, and that will blow your mind, then pick this book up. This is fantastic, amazing writing. One of my favorite historical fictions from now on, and I'm so grateful to Sukhaja for bringing this to my attention and for having me read it. So those were all the books that I read in June and July 2025. What did you think of this reading wrap up? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Have you read any of these books, or do you want to pick any of these books up? What did you read in the last couple of months? Did you find any favorites? Did you find any least favorites? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.